What's up? It's Mel.
And this is Dreamer.
And we are here with some content I just stumbled upon on YouTube. We didn't watch it yet. It's called NYC Parasite Apartments or Death Traps or something like that. You know the movie Parasite.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, that's what they're
alluding to. Probably.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's what they're alluding to. The Parasite kind of apartment. So like it must be in a basement. It's in NYC. Let's see what they're talking about. What's going on in New York City, man?
We live out here.
It's crazy.
Let's see what's happening.
여기까지 찼었어. 아니 이게 여기서 물이 막 올라온 거예요.
That's the only natural light we have from the outside world. It's like a sliver of light.
These basement apartments are illegal to rent out because they are dangerous to live in. Yet in a city that lacks affordable housing, many immigrants are living underground.
And this wasn't our first flood. This was like, wow, this was the sixth one.
When Hurricane Ida hit New York, residents found themselves in death traps as basements quickly filled with water. At least 13 people died in New York from the floods, and most of them lived in basements like these.
That's so messed up.
마치 그 기생충 영화 보는 거 같아 지금 내가.
빚도 안 들어오는데 1,300불이잖아요.
1,300.
사람들이 다 그래요.
Meanwhile, homeowners who rented out their basements are blaming the record amount of rainfall and city officials who ignored the climate crisis.
The amount of water that hit this block forced that wall in completely. It smashed it like it was nothing. So it's all Mother Nature. This storm was very deadly and very dangerous.
It's crazy.
Underground residents of New York, man. Master Splinter and them.
Eugene and Myung Kim are first-generation immigrants from Korea who moved to a basement home in Queens just a few months before the flood. It's estimated there are tens of thousands of basement apartments in New York, and Queens has become a hub for immigrants looking for cheap housing.
여기가 우리 침대가 있던 방이고요.
아, 이게 창문인 거죠?
예.
The couple say they recently moved because their dry cleaning business suffered during the pandemic.
물가는 올라가고 수입은 없고 그러니까 자꾸 줄여서 온 게 여기까지 온 거예요.
There's a massive lack of affordable and public housing available for low-income families in New York, which means immigrants are often resorting to illegal spaces.
여기까지 찼었어요.
Eugene and Myung escaped the apartment before the water levels got too high, but the couple lost most of their furniture and photos that have been taken over decades.
That's so
They're
fucked
also
up.
mourning the loss of their beloved
Remember when I kept my photos in the
when
basement?
they lost their cat.
생각나는 거예요. 있는 거 같고.
Oh man.
I have a cat and I couldn't.
안타깝죠. 그 먼저 보낸 게.
Windows that can't be used as exits and low ceilings are just a few of many reasons why this basement is unsafe to live in.
주인은 문을 열어놓지 말라고 그러더라고요. 처음에는. 이게 불법이잖아요. 뭐 밖에서 보인다. 뭐 옆집 사람이 본다.
So it's illegal to rent out basements?
I don't think it's illegal.
So.
It's not illegal. It's just.
I guess it has to have certain things in it.
Yeah.
근데 지금 다른 데로 이사 못 가시는 상황이신 거죠?
못 가죠 지금 이사한다고 여기 이사한다고 돈을 탈탈 털어서 다 와가지고 그 언임플로이먼트 그 실업수당으로 겨우겨우 지내고 있었는데 그것도 끊겼잖아요. 없는 사람은 아무리 노력을 해도 안 되더라고요. 있는 사람은 지금 이 어려운
It's really hard in New York City.
돈을 벌어준다고 눈물만 나오려고 그래요. 눈물만.
While this couple has no choice but to stay in this basement despite the risks, another resident in Queens says his basement home has become uninhabitable.
Hi!
Hey, how are you?
Rogue lived in a basement with his wife and 3-year-old son for 6 years.
So let me show you what's going on. Actually.
3-year-old son for 6 years though? Let me stop.
So you could see visually the damage and stuff. So that's how high the water came up actually. Outlets recovered.
And
this
it
is no
smells
good. Really bad.
Yeah.
I had the
That's
animals
lethal
in here, and a couple
mold,
of them actually passed.
right? Asbestos
Rogue
and all
works as a
that.
magician and lost the majority of his magic equipment during the flood. He says he received no help from government programs like FEMA and had to set up a GoFundMe page. The funds helped him rent another non-basement home, but initially he considered living in another basement.
We applied for I think 2 or 3 other basements.
So you guys applied for basements again,
Why?
even after this happened?
Yes, because it's affordable. And also, my credit's not that good.
The family paid $15.50 for the basement home and says their landlord never told them it was illegal to live there.
And he's always like, oh, if you don't like these kind of situations, you should leave. Every single time. Besides the other floods, it was great. And I don't know, I grew up in a basement.
This is crazy.
I'm better now after like 2 weeks. But yeah, when it first happened, I was like devastated.
Just a short drive away in Hollis.
Okay, but nobody gets a
Hamilton and
GoFundMe to go
Krisha
back to that
Williams,
same
their mother and son from
situation.
Trinidad drowned in the
Makes no
basement
sense.
of this home. Law enforcement is still investigating the incident, but reports say they were gathering their belongings when the wall of the basement burst and collapsed. Amit Shiv Prasad's family owns the home and was living upstairs. He says his dad warned the family multiple times about the flood.
You know, I called 911 at least, I could tell you at least 18 times or 20 times.
Amit's neighborhood has previously experienced issues with flooding, but he says he didn't expect the waters to come in that high. His family rented out their basement to a family they met working at a grocery store who were looking for cheap housing around 15 years ago.
The homeowners that's helping people and looking out, trying to do that, I don't think they should be demonized for that. I just think we look at it as helping and fixing a housing issue that's around in New York.
There is currently a vacate order on his home because it's being repaired from the flood damage. The basement is an illegal apartment, according to the city's building department. Yet Amit claims the basement was safe to live in.
So a lot of people would say that it's the homeowner's responsibility to make the basement safe to live in, right? What would you say to that?
Well, I can personally tell you, our basement is safe. We have everything down there that's considered safe. I would live down there if I had to.
How do you know it's safe?
It's very safe because we have multiple exits. Everything is secured.
Multiple exits is good though.
There's stuff there
Front and back.
Safe, very safe. I don't see a problem. I don't see a problem with not being safe.
Yeah, but
And
what's
yet 2
regulation?
people died, right? So why do you think that was?
For you to understand what really happened, you physically have to be here to see the wall, the way it went in. The amount of water that hit this block forced that wall in completely.
The increasingly deadly floods hitting New York are a product of the climate crisis that the city infrastructure wasn't adequately prepared to withstand. Mayor Bill de Blasio has said that the city will work on a better warning system to alert and evacuate residents.
This is the biggest wake-up call we could possibly get. We're going to have to do a lot of things differently and quickly.
He's also made a $2 billion commitment to improving the sewage system in Queens. Yet residents we spoke to say city officials need to work more closely with homeowners to prepare for future floods.
The blaming game is over. I want to talk to the mayor about a solution for homeowners who do not feel safe here anymore, and a lot of them do.
Even with lives lost, residents feel the city is negligent towards the community.
I guarantee if our skin color was not what it is for here, everyone would have been out here trying to get this problem resolved. As I told you, we were a mixed immigrant community.
While it's unclear how to immediately overcome the threats of the climate emergency and a housing crisis, Eugene and Myungis sleep fearfully, knowing that they'll be the first target of the next natural disaster.
Right?
Yeah.
비가 온다 그러면 잠을 못 자겠더라고요.
그 이민자들이 여기서 돈을 세이브해서 얻은.
So I had no idea that renting basements was illegal in New York City, and I'm pretty sure a lot of my viewers
I didn't know that.
don't know that either, because we all know somebody who lives in a basement. But I feel like as long as the conditions are made relatively safe, it should be okay. But the fact that people are dying in their sleep because of flooding.
Yeah, I remember seeing these videos from before, and it's crazy, but I didn't know that it's illegal. I think it's illegal if you don't.
She just said something about the city.
No, if it doesn't meet certain standards, maybe, but certain codes.
Right.
You know, like I remember.
It's too many people in basements. Like,
I remember seeing something
out.
when I was watching like these, you know, those like HGTV channels and stuff. They have I forgot what they call it.
Ooh, we should react to some HGTV.
Maybe.
Some renovations.
Like, ooh, look at that.
Look at the marble.
Oh, look at the bolted, a vaulted ceiling or whatever they call that shit. I don't know. But yeah, they have this thing around the windows where it's like a well, and it's like, it's not just like how you see the windows now. They have like a way you can escape through the windows.
That's dope.
Like for basements, certain basements. And I guess you have to have certain things like that installed in case of a fire, in case of a flood, and stuff like that. A lot of these houses were built so long ago, they probably...
Facts.
You know, they don't have.
I like the multiple exits joint.
Yeah.
Man, you guys, let me know if you've ever rented a basement.
Sounds good, but they said 2 people died.
What are your thoughts on this?
They said 2 people died.
Because they were probably freaking sleeping, bro. And the wall caved in because of the water. Like, that was just not secure.
It's not secure.
It's just not a good idea. If you can avoid basements, avoid it. But
depends on your basement, too.
Yeah.
All right. That was a good one.
Well, you guys, again, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what I should react to next. I want to thank you for watching this and be blessed. Peace.